It's hard to believe that it's already been 5 years since we've launched the Conestoga Entrepreneurship Collective. It has been quite a journey, one that began well before May 2019. People often ask me, how did the CEC start? To explain, I need to take you back a few years, 25 years to be exact. The first 25 years of my career were a whirlwind of interesting jobs, senior positions I aspired to as a young professional, and opportunities to live in exciting cities and travel the globe for business. I founded companies and worked on world-class teams. My driving force during this time was singular: get the job done. The project was more important than the person. The venture was more important than the person. The idea was more important than the person. Just get it done. Turns out I was wrong for 25 years. I came to Conestoga College in 2014, straight from working at a startup in New York City. I was now an educator. And it quickly became clear that the focus was not just getting it done. It was not getting the curriculum done. It was not getting the lesson plans done. It was not getting the assignments done. And it was not even getting the most compelling content done. The focus was the students. We were here for the relationships with the learners. We were here to empower individuals to succeed and reach their full potential. Oh my gosh, we were actually here for the people. Who knew? Teaching at Conestoga College was my first indication that a far different approach could be more powerful, more successful, and more fulfilling than anything that I had done prior. In 2019, when I was seconded out of my faculty role to rethink entrepreneurship at Conestoga, I was empowered with my own entrepreneurial lens, but also with the new, powerful lens of an educator who puts people, the students, first, at the center of the experience. We put students before the sector, we put students before the scale, we put students before the role, we put students before ideas, and certainly we put students before what the government decides to fund. So how did that impact how we thought about creating the CEC? Well, we started from the inside out. The first pillar was to consider how our initiative would be a reflection of Conestoga College. What did our students need? What did they want? What were they uniquely capable of? How could we deliver practical, hands-on, applied programming in the areas that we were responsible for? The second pillar was to be mindful of not duplicating programming that already existed in the community. Were there already many services that our students could access if they just knew about them? How important of a role could we play in simple awareness of and access to those resources? And what was missing in the community that we were in a position to provide? The third and final pillar was to determine how an entrepreneurship initiative at the college could become part of the fabric of the Waterloo Region innovation ecosystem. How could we create meaningful connections with other incubators, other accelerators, innovation organizations, municipalities, and educational institutions? How could we become part of their ecosystem? How could we become complementary and supportive of their goals, therefore opening more doors for our students to thrive? Those three pillars became the foundation for the CEC. We focused on building pathways for Conestoga students and alumni to build skills and realize their individual potential in the innovation ecosystem. As founders of everything from tech ventures to service companies and retail businesses and skilled trades companies. As freelancers, delivering graphic design, web development, bookkeeping, digital marketing, videography, and many more services. and as sales professionals, working in business-to-business sales in world-class companies like D2L, Vidyard, Auvik, SoftChoice, Evolution Q, and the list goes on. So where does this leave us in the story, then? Well, honestly, I think now that I and we have got it right. Over the course of my years at Conestoga, my mindset has shifted from just getting the job done to an approach that is about people, that is inclusive and diverse and fundamentally human. The focus now is on launching people. How many people, you ask? Turns out we just did an impact report, so I have a few figures at my fingertips. More than 4,500 students have engaged with the CEC in workshops and boot camps over the last 5 years. We've received more than 1,000 applications to our labs. We've supported 134 ventures in our Venture Lab and Venture Lab for Skilled Trades. We've partnered with the Liftoff Black Entrepreneurship team to launch another 103 ventures. We launched the businesses of 157 freelancers in the Gig Lab, facilitated the flow of over $480,000 worth of projects to Conestoga freelancers through our gig marketplace. We launched 82 sales careers in our sales lab and supported 16 founders with business development training. Thank you. Thank you. It blows my mind. So you were reading my mind there. It blows my mind to see these numbers. When I think of the size of our team, it hasn't always been the team that you see today. We started with 1, and then there were 2, and then there were 4. And the fact that we have 14 in our team right now, that includes our coaching team, is really something. I'm incredibly proud of what we have accomplished. So this is a great time for me then to pass the microphone over so you can actually hear from some of the incredible people that have been a part of the CEC. So I'm going to pass the mic over to Christian Snyder. He's the Associate Director of the CEC, and by the way, employee number 1, coach number 1, and introduced to me by a former student, Stuart Arsenault, and said, hey, you guys, I think you'd really, really get along. Turns out he was right. And we've been together for 5 years. So I'll turn it over to Christian, and we're going to bring some of our alumni up just to share some of their experiences with you.
Thank you, Rose. And yeah, if our panel could come up to the stage, we have a representative from each lab here, and so I see you inching up, Stephen, Prachi. Where is everybody? Yeah, please come up. Teresa, yeah, take a seat. Please welcome them. And for those of you who don't recognize me without a hat on, I'm wearing my hair tonight, so this is different for me. But yes, it is actually me. It's Christian, the Associate Director, and we've got some mics, I think, coming your way. There we go. Wonderful. So yeah, like I said, we have a representative from each lab, and why don't we get to know everybody here? If you want to start just from this side, introduce yourself, what lab you're in maybe, and what year you joined.
Hi, good evening everyone. My name is Prachi Gupta, and I'm an IT sales professional by profession. And when I'm not working, you will find me as an active Toastmasters speaker, because that's what I enjoy. I enjoy public speaking. And when I'm away from my desk, you will usually find me in kitchen trying to decide which tea I should try next from the selection I have. And I joined CEC for Sales Lab in the year 2022, right 2 years ago. It doesn't feel 2 years, but yeah, we are here after 2 years. And yeah, that's all about me.
Hello, everyone. Oh, that's loud. Hi, I'm Stephen. I am the representative for the Venture Lab with Quick Casa AI. So we're an AI product for property managers, but I'll get into that a bit later. What I do in my spare time, I'm going to take your lead on that. When I'm not working away, I do just enjoy my time, just taking it easy, going out on the golf course, playing, and just having a good general time. I also enjoy talking. I enjoy speaking and leading my team to this day. Quick Casa went through Venture Lab, I think, last cohort, last fall. Thank you, Christian. Yep. Yeah, that's me.
Hi, my name is Teresa. I have a freelance business as a digital marketing strategist, and the name of my company is Team Oscardo. You can find it in the website. So, what I do when I'm not working, I love spending time with the community, with my family. I'm really involved with that, and I love my puppy, by the way. And I'm part of the Geek Lab, and I was having my course or my intake in the winter of 2023, last year.
Awesome. Thank you. And why don't we, and if we start right there, maybe if you could tell us a little bit about your time in the collective and some of the important lessons that you learned as a freelancer in the lab. And we'll kind of work our way back, and then Stephen and then Prachi, if you could talk about your time in the lab.
So my time was really curious in my case, because I was working as a work study with Rose, and at the same time I was taking, Marius is my coach, so I was taking the Geek Lab. And it was really interesting for me, especially because I'm an international student, and I was trying to find my place in the workspace in Canada. So I think for me, the most valuable lesson that I got is that my story really mattered. So I remember that the first time that I came with Marius, I was like, I'm a marketer, so I'm supposed to have this perfect English with perfect ideas, with everything landed. And he was like, okay, let's breathe a little bit. And I discovered that's the strength of my business, that I know different markets, that I can relate with different messages, and that at the end, the skills are there. I just needed to pull them out.
Wonderful.
Well, that was wonderful. I'm going to have to follow that up. Here we go. So I'm Stephen, this Quick Casa. My time at Venture Lab was truly amazing. I think I'll start by saying this was not my first rodeo going through the whole Gig Lab or the Venture Lab experience. I'd even started businesses when I was in Conestoga College, actually. I think I was in Rose's sales class when I was running one of those businesses many, many moons ago. In my time, the most recent time in Venture Lab, and they all kind of dovetail together, which is part of that entrepreneurial journey, I think, is you have to, what Venture Lab, I think, really helped me do and understand was like, the step and the journey you're on isn't necessarily one where the idea that you walk in with is the idea that you keep. And I think it's a fool's errand to assume that if you walk in with one idea, it's going to be the one you leave with. And the key and always the hard truth that was something that, carried me forward in Venture Lab and that experience was, hey, like, that idea might not work, but here's what might. It's ready to be open and ready to be like, hey, here's what this experience could turn into. Right? And being ready to learn and being ready to realize, like, oh, I was really wrong. Like, I had no idea what I was doing, but now I do. And to be honest, I think there's forever the state of not knowing 100%, but having some idea on where you can look to find that next step. So I think that's what Venture Lab kind of helped me do in the early days, both this time with Quick Casa. You take all the learnings from the other 2 times you go through it and all the other instances of starting businesses and walking through the footsteps, but you learn something new every time, right? And it's not about a single step or a single thing. It's, I don't want to sound like just that like trope of like, here's how many times I fell on my face before I succeeded, right? I'm still on the journey, right? But I think the beauty is knowing that there is a place, Venture Lab gave me that place to try things and to see what was really out there, and gave me the guidance to make the right steps.
Awesome. Thanks, Steve.
I believe you're still on the journey. You were just taking steps right here. So, like, for me, I was in a time frame where I was considering a transition from my profession, being as operations executive, to something which is not I've explored before. So I wanted to do something like, I love talking. I just want to talk to people all the time. And I just thought that, okay, that's a nice idea. Let me just transform into my work, my day-to-day work. All I have to do is just talk to people, solve their problems, and present them with the solution or the service, or maybe sometimes a product, which might be beneficial for them. But that's when my coach, Antonio Michael Downing, who's not here today, told me that, Prachi, it's always not about talking, it's about problem solving. If you're talking to people, you should leave an impact, you should leave a message, and they should remember you, that why they should talk to you, why their time is worth speaking with you. And that's one of the key lessons that I had from Sales Lab, that, okay, sales and lab, two different words, do not go together. Like, that's what I took with me when I graduated from the cohort in April 2022, and it has just stayed with me. And since then, I have been into sales. I have been promoted from a BDR to account executive, and I think that's the easy way to, be successful in life. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. And then maybe too, just to we'll wrap up and we'll close here. But we will. I want to two things maybe while we're wrapping up. So one, if you could, and you were just saying that you moved from a BDR, you're now an account executive. You could kind of tell us where you're at right now, and then also too, if there are people that you want to thank. I know we're going to kind of do this like the Oscars. We're going to run a. But if there are people that you want to thank, do that now too, and we'll start here again with Prachi, and then go down the line.
Sounds good. So my first job was with Ovic Networks as a BDR, where I worked for a year and a half. And then I found that I didn't have enough space to spread my wings in the same organization, so I made a switch to SoftChoice, who are IT solutions provider, and they have been in the business for over 30 years now. So for me, working for the US market, staying in Canada is a huge deal when you know that English is not your first language, you are not a native speaker, and I've been told that people in US are not very, they do not do small talk the way Canadians do. And I'm like, okay, is that the thing? I thought it just applied to North America. And they're pretty straightforward. But for me, that was one challenging part that I had to understand, that, okay, even though you're in Canadian land, you need to be aware of what's happening in the business where you're actually working. And that's where I am. It's not been a long. I've been associated with SoftChoice. It's 3 months in the role, but there's a lot to learn. Learning never stops. And there are 3 people on my list whom I'd like to thank. First one being my boyfriend, who introduced me to Sales Lab. He thought that, yeah, you love talking. You should join Sales Lab. And second, Rose, who gave me this platform, who started this initiative, and she saw the caliber I had. And third, again, my coach, Antonio Michael Downing, who saw that, okay, I was capable for much more when I was doubting myself that, okay, I'm not the native English speaker, will I be good enough in the market, which is already so competitive in numbers and people being so outspoken. And when these 3 people had the belief in me, who was I to doubt myself? So that's all.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. So I guess where we are today, Quick Casa AI is currently securing some amazing pilot customers across Canada and the States. Very exciting days for us soon on the horizon. We're hoping to start a seed round for funding in the next few months. So very powerful, exciting opportunities on our doorstep. In terms of people I'd like to thank, or groups I'd like to thank the Academy for the time. No, sorry, I had to do that. I thought in the office, I'm like, I have to say it, even though it's weird, and anyways. So genuinely, I want to thank all of the coaches I had the chance to interact with. I spoke to Christian so much, and Rose, it's been truly amazing. Uche, I don't know if Uche's here, Marios as well. All just truly amazing coaches. The support has been just outstanding, and it really, seeing where you start and where you end up, and it's a journey of a million conversations, and it's a journey of meeting a bunch of people along the way. So it's truly amazing. I'd like to thank my team's not here, but the Quick Casa team, I'm affectionately called the talking head, but it's because there's amazing people around me to make things a reality. And I think, and just thanking the Gig Lab and the Venture Lab and all of the opportunities at my disposal. I'm truly, truly grateful for all that's out there. So thank you.
So for me, I'm still trying to put my business there. So just acquiring clients, and I have a full-time position now. I just graduated last year, so for me, it's really important part of the journey. And the Gig Lab helped me with that too, to tell these stories I was just sharing with you. And I also want to thank the Academy. I want to thank my coaches, Marius. I want to thank you, and also Jane, because he's being really supportive. And Rose, thank you for the opportunity and opening me the eyes of maybe you can start Gig Lab. Let's see. And also to this beautiful community, because I think, I agree, the conversations here are amazing. You're always thinking about the next step, or even there's someone there to support you and tell you, hey, stop, it's okay, it's part of the business, and you can keep growing here. So I really want to thank the CEC. And Maria also, because she's really supportive, so thank you very much. And thanks to you, Chris, for having us here.
Absolutely. No, thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. You guys can take a seat. Thank you. This is just a small example, these three individuals, of why we do what we do, because lives are being changed through the interaction with these labs. It's really special. So thank you, Christian, Stephen, and Prachi, and Teresa. You can see their full stories and more stories from all three of the labs on our YouTube channel right now. So now it's my turn for some thank yous. I would like to end exactly the way our panelists did, thinking about some special people and organizations. First and foremost, thank you to the CEC team, without whom there would be no impact. Christian Snyder, Uche Anwara, Kamar Lawrence, Lenore Johnson, Nikki Yashpal, who's actually pursuing, I think, her 5th or 6th venture right now. She's just blowing it up in Toronto. Chris Ronan, who's slaying dragons and selling hot sauce right now. Marios Matsias, everybody's dad in the Gig Lab. Incredible. Jane Snyder, keeping us all organized for 4 or 5 years, right? Michael Downing, who unfortunately couldn't join us this evening. Belyod Gill, who's here from Sales Lab. Jordan Kodak, Ron Boudreau, Greg Barrett, who's joined us tonight. Preeti Pinch, who's off welcoming a new little human this summer. Chris Henry. Maria Plazas and Lauren Ross, who pulled this great event together, so thank you very much. That was over and above everything that you had to do. Kevin Farugi, who, well, I just hired him, but then he was such a good freelancer as a graphic design. So he designed our 5-year impact report. And so when you have an opportunity to see that online, you will see the incredible work that Kevin does. So welcome to the CEC, and thank you for your great work. Thank you to Bruno and Matt, our video team, and for doing the intro video today. Thank you to our work study students, to Joe Martz, who's our photographer today, Courtney Zoller, who shot all of the videos that you'll see on YouTube. I really want to thank all the founders and the freelancers and the sales professionals who trusted us to be a part of their journey. This is one of the most personal things that you have. It is your dream for yourself. And you allowed us to be part of that journey, and that's very special, and we'll always remember that. Thank you to the mentors and SMEs for your time. You donate that time, and we really appreciate it. Thank you to the Royal Bank Foundation and Future Launch, supporting our Venture Lab for Skilled Trades program. I think that has got a lot of opportunity in future, and it's a really terrific program that we're starting now. Thank you to Equitable Life, the Wilf Rick family, Cambridge Hespeler Rotary, and Conestoga CSI, all of whom have donated funds in pitch competitions and other awards that go to our venture founders. Thank you to our ecosystem partners. I see you there, Peter, from Communitech. Thank you so much. The Accelerator Center, Tabitha was here earlier this evening. Velocity, the Waterloo Region Small Business Center. I saw Corey here from Kitchener Economic Development. Of course, Catalyst Commons, where we're holding this today, and the SDG Factory. Thank you all for embracing the CEC. It means so much to have the credibility and just to have you want to partner with us and to invite us into what is a really special ecosystem in this region. So we're very much appreciative of that because it allows us to provide great opportunity to our students and our members. Thank you to the allies within the college. I see you, Pejman, I see you, Ig, I see lots of, Lil was here earlier. Those that believe in what we're doing and believe that entrepreneurship is a pathway for our students in all shapes and sizes, that is incredibly important, and it creates a critical mass of opportunity for us to keep doing what we're doing and expand what we're doing. And finally, even though my last two people are not here, we're recording this, so it's important. Thank you to Gary Hallam, who was my executive dean when I had this idea. And he greenlit this idea on kind of a wing and a prayer and a business plan. And he was my angel investor and made it possible for me to start this journey 5 years ago and to continue after my 2-year secondment. And also thank you to Michelle Kretchen, who is the current VP of Research, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship. We continue to get support and have her make way for us in the college to do more for our students. And so when my colleagues in the college system ask me, how are you possibly doing what you're doing? It's like, it's a great team at Conestoga. It's an entrepreneurial school wrapped up in a bureaucracy, probably wrapped up in an enigma as well, but we have a very entrepreneurial spirit here, and I've been given this great opportunity to grow this venture within the college, and I certainly credit those leaders and administration for that. You can see the full 5-year impact report, so all of Kevin's great work and a lot more numbers and some great stories on our website. If you go to the Impact tab, you can download the full report. And I want to thank you. Thank you for tonight, and we look forward to many more years of innovation and growth and impact. So thank you, and good night.